Hi there. Thought I'd share something that I thought was kind of fun that I've been working on. My roommate has a 1965 Buick Riviera, and a number of parts are just gone, broken, just you name it, they've done it. Uh, and the ignition switch is no different. They replaced it with a generic, and in doing so, they got rid of the connector and got rid of the original keys. So we've been on a mission to restore those things. So she came across the correct ignition switch. The barrel for the key actually goes in here, but she gets it, and she doesn't have a way to plug into this. I mean, yeah, you could run individual wires, but you have the chance of them coming loose one by one, and it's just not what you really want to do. So she had a guy that was doing a tear down of another 65 Buick send her some parts, and one of them he said, "Oh, hey, I found the ignition clip if you want it." He threw it in there, and this is what she got. You'll notice there's five places for wires, and this has, I think 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, well, 6, and you could see this one is kind of chewed up. That doesn't. So these don't line up in any way, shape, or form. And this car is not anywhere near common enough for anybody to really make any parts. So I got to work. And after a little time, I came up with a generic shape. Oh, there it is. With this. And the thought was I just make it circle to circle, match up, and I got them pretty close, but not quite right. It doesn't quite line up right. So I played with some measurements and kept playing, and you'll notice these are very oddly shaped. And the reason they are shaped as such is because these little clips go on. So the harness holds the clips in the right order, and then the clips slide on all at once and stay secured, theoretically. At least that's what they're supposed to do. And I was able to create a shape that these fit in, but it kind of wiggled, and that wasn't perfect. So I had my now that's stuck. Of course it is. I had my basic shape, and I just ran with it. I don't know if you can see, but right there is the metal clip part that actually holds it in the harness. So these are designed so that when you press down on that clip, if I can hit it with this Allen wrench, they're designed to come out. I seem to have a lot more luck with this pair of tweezers. Okay, anyway, shape is wrong, is close, not great. So then the other thing is this is designed to have, or this thing is designed to have clips go in and kind of snap into place, but I kind of decided against that. Reason being is every time I've printed a clip using an SLA, or not an SLA, FDM printer, it doesn't hold up. They all snap off, and even when I was doing them on an SLA printer, I still wasn't getting the quality I wanted. So instead, I opted to basically, when they mate up, the wire and the thing made up, there are 3 mount points on this piece now that will hold it together rather. So, version 2, it's got those meeting points, and the cables, they do line up better, but not perfect. But this gives an idea of what my goal was. and that is to basically make it so you can like zip tie or Velcro or something here to hold all those wires in place. So kind of important, but close. When I got to this point, I opted to change tact, and my goal was to get that lined up perfect with those connectors. So I iterated a few times, 4, and the goal was to make this go on there perfectly. And you can see it's not perfect. That's a little too close, that's a little bit off. So like I said, there's a few iterations. Probably should have written down which one ended up being the final, but honestly it doesn't really matter because this is all temporary anyway. But I did get, oh, that might have been it. Yeah, see how that just falls. Yeah, this was it. So a couple iterations, great. My next focus was making this end stay in one of these perfectly, because when I put this in, yeah, they'll go in, yeah, they'll clip in, but they didn't clip in all the way, and they wiggled a lot. So I worked on improving the design, and you can see there's these two areas here and here. When this is pushed in, they touch here and here, and that prevents this wire from going any further in. So I stripped down to iterations again, and what I came up with was adding another layer here to push the connector here and here, and I don't think, you really can't tell what I did, but I did it. And long story short, I eventually came up with this connector. You can see these are all held exactly where they need to be. Very little wiggle room. They're all secure in there, and most importantly, they meet up perfectly. Nothing moves at all. And then, like I said, a zip tie or some Velcro or whatever. And we now have an ignition switch wire harness printed on a Prusa Mini. Took a couple hours because this whole section is 5 fills, and it doesn't have to look pretty, but it has to be secure and sturdy, and that's what I think that is. I can probably step on this thing and not break it. PETG, of course, but yeah, I have a custom, perfectly fitting wire harness. Hopefully somebody else can find this useful. From what I gather, this was the actual switch from NAPA, part number, and yeah, anyway, maybe somebody will find this useful. Anyways, take care.